within, until all that remains is an icy husk.
Yo guys, this is Reinhardt, and this video is going to be about Arthas build, Arthas guide. This is more of a hybrid build where it's focusing on survivability, crowd control and damage. It's more like a jack of all trades, master of none. But built properly, this build will destroy your enemies and it will make them cry. So let's look at the build itself. So let's take a look at the strengths and the weaknesses. The strengths are you have a high survivability, melee damage and pretty medium control. But the weaknesses are first of all less range damage because you build more of a melee damage class. You have less siege presence and you're kind of a middle of the pack type of guy. Through playing multiple games as Arthas, I found out a few things. First of all, Arthas is probably one of the best sustainable heroes in the game, and he can actually top himself up pretty well even from just attacking regular mercenaries. His problems are though he's going pretty fast, and if you're gonna wanna be very effective in the battle, ins and outs, I build him actually having a very good sustainability in terms of mana management, and while still having a great survivability and a great damage output in general. Boring time! Anyway, this is actually where I'm gonna be talking about the build of Arthas, so bear with me here for a couple seconds. For the first two talents, I decided to take a Frozen Waste. Basically what it does, it actually increases your area effect slow by 33%, and it's, in my opinion, a must to have. While you are sacrificing some of the survivability to pick this talent, nevertheless this is probably one of the best talents to pick. For the second one, I decided to go with Destruction, and the reason why is because to make my Frostmourne actually hit a lot harder when I activated ability. Level 7 third talent, I decided to go with a Rune Tap, which basically makes every third of your basic attack heal you for 6% of your max health. Now because Frostmourne also resets the cooldown timer on your next auto attack, this becomes actually a really efficient way to manage your healing. And for level 10, I decided to actually pick Army of the Dead to have that extra sustained survivability. Number 13, that's where you actually have a choice of picking your talent tree based on what the enemy team is running. Number 16, that's where I decided to go with the extra Frostmourne attack, Frostmourne feeds, because it gives me extra mana. And then number 20, I decided to go with Resurgence of the Storm over anything else, because it's been mathematically nerd calculated, my friends. This is another area where you can actually take your pick and take your choices. Basically all of those are pretty nice. You can either improve your ultimate or make your auto attacks do more damage, or actually pick Resurgence of the Storm. And I actually decided to do that because it mathematically makes a lot more sense. It's basically twice as effective than actually improving your Army of the Dead by just simply looking at the effective HP levels that the ability provides. So now looking back at level 13 talents, this is, remember when I said you actually have a choice, and I really mean by that, because Spell Shield is actually very good against the heroes like Nova. So if you have a really strong Nova on the enemy team, pick that one. If you have a Brightwing or maybe even Towering Chieftain or somebody with a lot of crowd control, Relentless is also a better one. If you have a lot of range DPS with a lot of outs like Demon Hunter, I usually pick Trail of the Frost. Otherwise, if there's a lot of team fighting, actually Biting Cold is also great because you just do a lot more AoE damage that way. Now let's talk about the bigger picture and how those talents actually affect your abilities. So for your auto attack, Rune Tap and Frostmourne feeds gonna attack it greatly. That's why you're becoming a very strong melee type of knight presence. Not only gonna get a lot of sustainability and healing via Rune Tap, you're also gonna do tons more damage from Destruction and from the extra Frostmourne attack. And also Frozen Waste is also gonna get upgraded because you can do a lot of AoE damage. But if you guys can see, none of the talents actually improve my Howling Blast or my Coil or my Army of the Dead. And the reason why is because I decided to skew away from those talents a little bit in favor of actually my melee Frostmourne damage, and in addition to that, more survivability. Now let's watch a few clips and see how effective that build really is. So here we're gonna have a first potato fight of the match. And here is basically everybody groups up for no apparent reason and beats the shit out of each other. As an effective artist, you'll need to know when to actually get into melee range and when to kite enemies. Here I used my cola for healing. I did tank a little bit of damage, but in general I decided to actually kite back a little bit, drink some fountain thing to make me strong and shit, and actually go back in a fight again. Here they already had sitting at half HP, and I kind of healed myself back up from Death Call, and we decided to go actually at it and kill a few people. Now this Tyrael decided that he's Angel in real life as well and decided to actually stay for the fight. Quick Death Call here to finish him off, and we actually finished this battle, and we already gained 1 extra level on our opponents. Frozen Tempest and the Frozen Waste is an invaluable combination to be able to catch up to the enemy heroes and also actually mess them up and not let them get away. Here I rooted with the Howling Blast. I did a double attack with the Rune of Frostmourne and actually killed Demon Hunter. All of that has been done from 40% to 0. Here's another good example of why Frozen Waste with the Frozen Tempest combination. Basically you AoE slow, and the increasing range of it is very highly effective in the team fights. Here we're gonna have a team fight, and the enemy Stitches were gonna decide to kind of poke around here, and it actually was a 4v5, a team fight. So me and Lily were chilling here in the back, where Big Stitches comes in and decides to mess with us. So I'm snaring him with my Frozen Tempest, and while I get all the 5 stacks, it was almost impossible for him to kite us. While his enemy team coming in for the actual help, I was able to actually already snare Demon Hunter, not only Stitches, and also Tyrael as well. And we easily picked them off one by one while they were actually popping in. Here's a good example where Resurgence of the Storm, basically the passive that lets you get resurrected every 2 minutes at the only 5-second duration instead of whole 60. This is where it gets extremely powerful. So I'm dying here, and we have 2 bases, and the enemy team only has kind of like 1.5 bases, and on this map you have to turn in those coins looking things to a ghost pirate so he can shit on your base. I know, makes sense, right? So anyway, here I actually use the Resurgence of the Storm, and what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna kill the enemy Stitches, who got 11 of them, and 11 is way too much. It's more than half of the turn-in points. So we're gonna actually kill Stitches here. I snared him, I slowed him, and me and Zagara were gonna be finishing him off. Again, look how beautiful the Frozen Waste with the Frozen Tempest actually is. And we're also gonna kill here a Witch Doctor as well, so we won't let him pick pretty much anything up. I bought my Army of the Dead just to be safe and just to be able to heal up. All of that actually gave us enough points to turn in, get the 18 doubloons right to the Ghost Pirate, and he will shit all over their base. So while we actually lost a team fight, and because the enemy team was not really expecting us to have the Resurgence of the Storm yet, we were able to win that 2-on-2 fight and actually turn in all the points we needed to win the game. Like I said, while you might not be upgrading your ultimate, I definitely think the Resurgence of the Storm in this particular layout and build is actually a very powerful talent. I think it's just in general a very powerful talent. Anyway, there was actually a very fun match. I'll be streaming more of the Heroes of the Storm because I'm actually having a lot of fun in the game. But overall, thanks a lot for coming in, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know which hero do you want me to actually make an overview, maybe / make a initial guide of. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and до свидания.